The twin sons of Krathos IV painted the canyon in shades of crimson and gold, as Commander Thexelar watched the human through her tactical visor. The alien had been observing this particular specimen, designated as Marcus Chen, xenobiologist, for 3 cycles now, ever since his survey ship crashed in the wilderness preserve. What she witnessed defied every psychological profile the Galactic Council had compiled on humans. The Velcresh pack had been stalking the human and the 2 Vin cubs for the better part of an hour. Thexler counted 8 of the apex predators, each standing nearly 3 meters tall with obsidian claws that could shred durasteel plating. The cubs, offspring of her deceased navigation officer, whimpered behind the human's legs, their crystalline fur dulled with fear and exhaustion. Chen had no weapons. His survival kit had been destroyed in the crash. He possessed no natural armor, no venomous glands, no enhanced musculature that characterized most sentient species. By every metric, he should have abandoned the cubs and fled. Self-preservation was the first law of nature, after all. Instead, he stood. The pack leader circled closer, its 6 eyes gleaming with predatory intelligence. It released a bone-rattling screech that made the canyon walls tremble. The cubs pressed tighter against Chen's legs. Thexler's tactical officer whispered urgently in her earpiece, requesting permission to intervene. "Negative," she replied, her voice steady despite the tension coiling in her thorax. "Observe." Chen's response was unlike anything in the xenopsychology textbooks. He didn't freeze. He didn't flee. Instead, he expanded, spreading his arms wide, making himself appear larger. His lips peeled back to reveal his blunt omnivore teeth, and from his throat emerged a sound that made Thexelar's scales ripple with instinctive alarm. It was a roar, primal, defiant, absolutely fearless. The pack leader hesitated. Chen took a step forward, not back, and roared again. This time he punctuated it by slamming his fist against his chest and stamping his foot against the ground. The gesture was pure theater, pure bluff, but it carried the weight of something ancient and terrible. It spoke of a species that had clawed its way to the top of its homeworld's food chain, not through natural weaponry, but through sheer, bloody-minded refusal to be prey. "Impossible," Thexelar's tactical officer breathed. "His physiological readings show elevated stress hormones, but he's overriding his fear response through conscious will." The Velcresh pack was clearly confused. Their hunting algorithm had evolved over millions of years to target fleeing prey. They understood fear. They understood submission, but this was something their instincts had no framework for processing. Chen didn't wait for them to adapt. He scooped up a rock, crude, primitive, and hurled it with surprising accuracy at the pack leader's snout. The stone struck true, and the predator recoiled with a startled yelp. Before the pack could regroup, Chen grabbed a fallen branch, holding it like a club. "Come on," he shouted, his voice cracking but unwavering. "You want them? You go through me first." 2 of the Velcresh lunged simultaneously from different angles, a coordinated attack that had felled countless prey species. Chen swung his branch with desperate strength, catching one across its face. The wood splintered, useless now, but the message had been delivered. This human would not yield. The pack leader's calculation matrix was likely overheating, trying to reconcile the data. The human was clearly the inferior combatant. Victory was mathematically certain. Yet something in Chen's stance, in the way he kept his body between the predators and the cubs, triggered ancient warnings coded into the Velcresh genome. Warnings about prey that fought back. Warnings about species that didn't follow the rules. Warnings about extinction-level mistakes. Thexler had read the human homeworld reports. She knew their history, how they domesticated wolves, outran prey animals through sheer persistence, hunted megafauna to extinction with nothing but rocks and determination. Humans weren't apex predators by design. They were apex predators by decision. The pack leader made its choice. With a frustrated growl, it retreated 3 steps. The rest of the pack watched their leader, confusion evident in their postures. When Chen took another aggressive step forward, branch raised despite his trembling arms, the decision solidified. The Velcresh pack withdrew. Chen didn't lower his guard until the last predator disappeared over the canyon ridge. Only then did his legs buckle. He collapsed to his knees, adrenaline crash hitting him like a physical blow. The 2 Vin cubs immediately swarmed him, their small arms wrapping around his neck, their crystalline tears dampening his torn uniform. "Extraction team now," Thexler ordered, already moving toward the canyon floor. When she reached Chen, he was still holding the cubs, whispering reassurances in a language they couldn't understand but responding to nonetheless. His hands shook violently. His face was pale. Every rational part of his biology had been screaming at him to run. But he hadn't. Why? Thexler asked simply, helping him to his feet. You could have escaped. Survival probability calculations showed. They're kids, Chen interrupted, his voice hoarse. He looked down at the cubs still clinging to him. Someone had to protect them. I'm the adult here. Thexler studied him for a long moment. In that simple statement lay the answer to humanity's greatest mystery. The reason they'd survived countless extinction events. The reason they'd reached for the stars despite their physical limitations. The reason the galaxy had learned to respect them. Humans didn't calculate odds. They calculated responsibility. As her extraction team lifted them toward the hovering rescue shuttle, Thexler updated her report. The Galactic Council would need to revise their human protocols again. Because while humans might lack claws, venom, or armor, they possess something far more dangerous. They possessed the absolute conviction that some things were worth standing for, regardless of the cost. And that made them the most terrifying species in the galaxy.